Welcome everyone, I'm Kenneth Tam. I looked into my fridge today and find out that some eggs are close to their expiry date. So, I decided to cook a very interesting appetizer to use them up. The Shanghainese smoked eggs. As usual, I'm going to show you the traditional recipe that has been used for centuries. I know what you are thinking. There are smoked eggs. Sounds classy and complicated. But not really. You'll only need 2 ingredients and you can make a batch of these within 30 minutes. The original recipe calls for duck eggs. I know not all of you can get duck eggs in your area, so I'm going to use chicken eggs instead. These are Japanese eggs. They have thicker consistency, so their texture is closer to duck eggs when cooked, but you can use any eggs you've got. And the size of these eggs are about the size of the large American eggs. Before we cooked, we need to get the eggs to room temperature. This ensures the eggs are heated evenly. Boil a pot of water. You should have enough water that can completely cover your eggs. When the water is vigorously boiling, put your eggs into the pot. Look how I dip the eggs into the water several times before I completely submerge them. This allows the eggs to gradually adapt to the water temperature and to prevent the shell from cracking due to a sudden change in temperature. The next step is very crucial. The key to get a perfect soft-boiled egg is to precisely manage the cooking time. Boil your eggs for 2 minutes without covering the lid. Then turn the heat off, cover the lid and let your eggs sit inside the water bath for 4 minutes. If you want your eggs to have less runny yolk, you can boil them for 3 minutes and let them poaching for another 3 minutes. The cooking time of either way is 6 minutes. Do not exceed this time limit. After 6 minutes, take the eggs out and put them in cold water bath immediately. Let them cool down for about 10 minutes. We do not want to cool them down completely, because the smoke is easier to coat onto warmer food surface. The smoke will brown everything in contact, so while you are waiting for the eggs to cool down, line your wok or deeper pot with foil. Also line the inner side of the lid, which I forgot to film. Then you can avoid the cleaning afterwards. After your eggs cool down a bit, carefully deshell them, and we can prepare our smoking process. There are 2 ways to smoke food in Chinese cuisine. The first one involves the use of wood chips, but for most of the time, we only need to use sugar. Add about ½ cup or 100 grams of sugar into your wok, a pot. We are going to smoke our eggs using the smoke produced by melting and burning the sugar. This way of smoking will give your food a unique smoky, caramelized flavor that you cannot get in other smoking methods. Brown sugar can provide better result, but it's also fine to use white sugar. Then, add in a handful of rice. If you don't have rice, you can use flour. The function of the rice or flour is to filter out the acidic substance released from the burning sugar. We're doing the basic version today. If you are aiming for the restaurant version, you may want to add a handful of soaked red tea leaves and a few splashes of rich tea. Sometimes, chefs will substitute tea leaves with flowers such as chrysanthemum and roses. Then place a steaming rag and lay your eggs onto it. You can also use a steamer. And then cover the lid. Here is another crucial step. We don't want to have overpowering smokiness, so we have to control the smoking procedure very carefully. First, crank your heat all the way up and wait for 3 minutes. This step is to melt and burn the sugar as quick as possible to produce the smoke. After 3 minutes, you'll see smoke running out from the wok. Then turn your heat to low and wait for another 3 minutes. This step will lower the production rate of the smoke and gently force the smoky flavor into the eggs. After 3 minutes, turn the heat off completely. Let the eggs rest inside the wok for 3 more minutes. This is the time when the vaporized sugar condenses onto the surface of the eggs, providing them the iconic brown color. The total smoking process is about 9 minutes. After that, you can take your eggs out and let them cool down. Then you can split the eggs into half. In restaurant, we are using fishing line to cut the eggs, so that the yolk would not stick to the blade and you can get a clean cut. But if you are cooking at home, it just doesn't make sense to buy fishing line just for cutting eggs. Anyway, your Shanghainese smoked eggs are done. Here is a technical summary. First, you'll need to rest your eggs in room temperature before cooking them. You have to precisely control the cooking time of the eggs. Boil for 2 minutes and poach for 4 minutes with the lid on and fire off. Or boil them for 3 minutes and poach for 3 minutes. You have to precisely control the smoking time of the eggs. 3 minutes on high heat, 3 minutes on low heat, and 3 minutes without heat. Enjoy your smoked eggs. Remember to share some of them with your friends and family, and I guarantee you can wow them. If you have any questions, comment below and let me know. If you want to learn more about authentic Chinese recipes and cooking secrets, subscribe to my channel. Also check my other videos for fresh and rarely seen recipes. I'll be uploading regularly. See you next time!